We are here. We are finally here. Welcome back to the Coach's Huddle. It's your boy, the coach. We're the Phil Meets family. And don't look now, but we are back. It's cover two, another reinstallment with my boy, Jesse Naylor, by way of Last Second Sports. Jess, how are you doing? Talk to me, brother.
Brother, I'm doing much better than the 49ers are doing right now. That was a rough loss yesterday for sure. I know that you call the games and I did the post game. People were hot, man. And it's crazy because one loss against the Jags kind of opened the eyes, I feel like, of a lot of fans who were like, oh, so happy we're 3-0. And they're like, oh, maybe there's a lot wrong with this team. And then we hear Ricky Pearsall has a PCL injury. We don't know how long that's going to be. Jennings they didn't have practice, but if they had, Purdy wouldn't have
Jennings wouldn't have
practiced,
practiced.
Pearsall wouldn't have practiced, and Jennings wouldn't have practiced. So it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's crazy.
Well, let's just get right into it, man. I mean, let's skip all of the pageantry bullshit and get right into it, man. So look,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy is hurt, man. And we just got to get to it. Was Brock Purdy rushed back? Right now, we saw Brock Purdy come out and have a rough day. 22 of 38, 309 yards, 8.1 yards per average, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 turnovers overall, took 1 sack, a QBR of 52.1, and a QB rating of 79.8. Everything wasn't on Brock. Okay. No, nor is it on every quarterback. So we're not going to give you what you want. You're not going to have us on here dancing on any graves. Okay. You came here for that. Move on. Wrong channels.
Yeah, right.
But what we are going to do is talk about a couple of things. Number one, Brock Purdy reached out to Kyle Shanahan after the game just to give a sit rep on his injury, said that he felt a little bit of discomfort, gave him a call on the phone, and basically came to Kyle with the persistence of more discomfort. And by the morning, it is all but flared up, and Brock Purdy is injured yet again. I got to ask you, in recent comments before this game, Kyle Shanahan said himself that this was a must-win game. That's a quote. That this was a must-win game. And it was odd for him to say that the Jags game was a must-win game when we have the Rams staring us down on Thursday Night Football. And you get the comments from Brock Purdy where a lot of it was, well, Brock is steering his own ship. He's the one that's came out and said, listen, I know what being Brock Purdy feels like. I know what looking like Brock Purdy, what that looks like. And if I'm not Brock Purdy getting onto the field, then I'm not going to play. That was after a 3 to 5 week prognosis originally on this turf toe injury. Brock turned around in all but 2 weeks. And yeah, it was tongue in cheek to talk about it back then. Is Brock rushing back and, Mac Jones has won 2 games. Is this a little bit of jealousy? But it looks like the organization may have had their hand in making sure that Brock came back earlier than he should have. Was Brock rushed back?
I don't know. See, this is tough because we don't know what Brock was feeling, right? And we don't know fully what the conversations are. I can tell you what I've heard and leading up to this whole thing. So we were told it was a 2 to 5 week injury. Technically, he came back and played after 3 weeks, right? He practiced a little bit last week. He practiced a little bit this week. He missed 2 games, so that's 2 weeks. By week 3, he was playing. But what I've heard anyways, is that the very first week that he was out, they were asking if he could take an injection and do some things. And he shut it down immediately and said, I'm not playing. I don't feel right. I'm not playing. So then week 2 came around. They almost all the way up till like Friday or Saturday before they finally made the decision and went with Mac. It was like, oh, it's going to be close. He's going to warm up, all these things. And he ended up not playing. And so I think all of us believed that because of that lead up into the second week, that he would play in week 3. And unfortunately, Mac also sustained a PCL injury of his own where he got hurt again and gutted it through. So you had a situation where both quarterbacks were injured. Both of them practiced. Both of them said they could go. And of course, you're going to go with your starter, who is Brock Purdy. And listen, we're ball sailing on him, sure. And could that be because he couldn't plant the way he needed to? That's a possibility. But if you just watched him mobility wise, looked pretty healthy to me. Like he was moving around just fine.
Yeah.
Now, is he 100%? No, but nobody in this league is ever 100%. Once week 1 starts, you're never 100% again. You're either good enough to play or you're not good enough. And regardless of how that decision happened, he was good enough or deemed good enough to go out and play. Now, I do find this very funny, very interesting.
Okay.
Kyle is doing this thing where he's throwing Brock under the bus a bit because he's asked flat out, hey, so was he hurt during the game? He's like, no, there was no discomfort during the game. He didn't say anything during the game. We talked last night and he said that he was hurt. So basically he's taking all the excuses of Brock Purdy's play out of it by saying he wasn't hurt during the game. It didn't bother him during the game. We didn't talk about it during the game. He just went out there and played. It was last night that it flared up and that it was starting to bother him and a little bit sore. So listen, I don't know. I'm just saying that's what Kyle Shanahan's doing. And Kyle Shanahan does this a lot. You know, he'll be asked about quarterback mistakes. He's like, yeah, quarterback shouldn't have thrown that ball. Was he hurt during the game? No, he didn't complain to me. So that's all we can go off of.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the inaccuracy, yeah, I saw a lot of missed balls, but we heard about that. We heard about that in practice that Brock was missing high. I think that came by way of Larry. And one thing that I just wanted to talk about is just the process, because there was a lot of drops too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
I think we had like maybe 6 or 7 drops in this game, which is unreal. And the irony of it is that we played the Olympics of dropped teams in the Jaguars, where they lead
dropped a ton,
in drops, and we're the ones who came up with it. There were so many.
Can I make this point real quick though? Because I want to call this both ways. There were also about 3 grabs that were made that were amazing grabs that were not
would have been
thrown balls, right? And so we have to call it both ways. We can talk about the drops, and it's fair to do so, but there were about 3 balls. 2 of them easily could have and possibly would have been picks if the receiver doesn't make an amazing play and go up and get that ball. So I just,
no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that at all. I just wanted to just talk about the thought process of bringing Brock back. Why do you rush him back? Now, he's the way it sounds. I'm not going to, speak as if I know, but it's not really looking good for him to play Thursday.
Yeah, he might be out again. It's
right.
And it does seem like that. Yeah.
Right. And on top of it, is Mac Jones ready to go? Right. Honestly speaking, we may be looking at Martinez against the Rams. I'm being real with you.
I know. I got you.
So from my standpoint, why did the man said in the beginning of the season that we were going to be a different team by week 12. When somebody says that, Jesse, that comes off to me as, all right, well, we're going to take our lumps early. We're going to have to invest in some losses, or we're going to have to invest in some things where we're going to have to understand that things develop as the season goes along. Why would Kyle and the 49ers risk their franchise quarterback by having him play against the Jags when he didn't need to? I don't think that Brock needed to play in this game.
What was the solution, though? I mean, Mac said he would play. He did say, he's like, yeah, I'm hurt, but I'll play. Like, I'll do it. And that's where the question comes in. Like, do we know for a fact he was rushed back? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All I can do is say that he was out there, and we have to take the results for what they are. But to say that was a must-win game, you know what that tells me is exactly the way that I'm looking at the schedule and going, if you don't beat the Jags, you're probably going to be 3-3, because I'm not picking them to beat the Rams, and I'm not picking them to beat the Bucks. Yeah. I'm just not. So he's looking at that going, well, if we lose to the Jags, we're going to be 3-3, and then here we go. So that's probably how he's looking at that, and why he's saying it was a must win, or treating it like a must win, or whatever the wording was. But yeah, the whole thing is interesting. And I guess the question is if Brock doesn't play Thursday, how long is he going to be out for real? I think Mac will play on Thursday. And we talked about this. We talked about this after start one, coach. We did. I said, listen, I'm not saying there's a quarterback controversy, but I'm starting to see a path to a quarterback controversy. And then it happened again in week 3, the second start for Mac Jones, where he threw the ball even more than he did the first time, and they won a game. And then I was like, listen, I could see Brock coming back and losing 3 games in a row and possibly being injured. And if Mac comes in and plays well again, you start to see the path for this. You can.
Yeah. Yeah. You do see the path for it. I mean, my biggest thing right now is that we also brought up what you're doing right now. They walked right into this. And there's anybody who like gives a damn about my little channel or my shows. I've been saying this all week about rushing Brock back. And the thought process was, don't rush him back. And you know why? Because if you rush him back, you're going to have to administer some type of medication to get him playing. Okay. And when you get him playing, what's going to happen if we don't win? All right. Even if we won after the game, that's going to wear off. And then he's going to call you and he's going to say that it's hurt. Did I not say this? He's going to come back and say, hey, this hurts worse than it did before I started playing. And then now you're managing the injury at a lower level than you would be if you would have just sat him out and waited time for it to heal naturally. So now that toe, whatever it is after this Jags game, that's going to have to be managed unless they just sit him down flat out.
Yeah. If Mac plays on Sunday, do they win that game?
Dog. This is what Mac Jones has for him. And I want to say it right now.
Yeah.
Mac Jones has got a little bit of that Brock Purdy, that Nick Mullins, that Jimmy Garoppolo sauce where quarterbacks thrive in this offense early. It's the facts.
That's the way it works. I don't know why. Yeah.
They thrive early. And Mac is in that arc right now. He's in his thrive early arc with this offense with Kyle. And we've seen when the team is good enough, we've seen this stuff roll all the way into the playoffs. We've seen a lot of teams be confused because it's not the fact that Mac is operating at such a high level, because he is a good quarterback. I don't want to like pettifog it.
Yeah.
But what it is that the patterns in the offense haven't been picked up yet. And it's really hard to prepare defensively for a Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan duo. But once, you know what? Mac Jones and Kyle are like street dancers. It's like you see them for the first time and you're like, man, this is crazy. Like them dudes flipping around in the subway in New York. But after you see it one time, you're like, hey, man, I got to get to work. Move over. Enough, Shaheed. Move over. So, look, I'm just telling you, once you see the act, it's awesome. The first time, you're like, this is really nifty. I mean, he's got a whole percussion set with 5-gallon buckets. This is amazing. But after a while, you're just,
I've seen this a million times.
Yeah, after a while, it's just sticks on buckets, bro. It's like, it's time to go. We got to get to Cinnabon. Let's keep it moving. Yeah. So, all I'm saying is that if Mac does play, anything, it's a wild card. And I don't think that other teams want to see Mac, honestly.
Well, I mean, the only reason I say that is because, again, it's not like Mac has been special. I'm not trying to sell it like, oh, look at how much better Mac has been.
Exactly.
The point is, though, is that he did throw 80 passes in 2 games. And Brock Purdy's thrown 73 in 2 games. Mac Jones has 2 turnovers and Brock Purdy has 5. Do I believe that Mac Jones could have had, I don't know, at least 1 less turnover on Sunday? I do. And I think that could have been the difference. It could have, I mean, the 49ers, despite all the turnovers, still had the opportunity. They still had the chance to win it. They had ball in hand. And this is like my biggest frustration with Purdy. Ball in hand, go win a game. And last year he had 5 chances and went 0 for 5. This year he's 1-1 in those chances. I don't know, man. It's just, to me, this is pretty much a trend of kind of who he is at this point. So,
well, let's just get into it. The next topic is lack of fundamentals, man. 4 turnovers in this game. 6 drops, missed tackles for large runs.
Penalties, bad
penalties on third downs, coaching blunders. Kyle, what are you doing? All right. Accepting 3rd and 12s, turning them into 2nd and 17s. And then they go and they score on that drive. Just not paying attention. Challenging the Travis Hunter catch. He caught the ball, bro. Back-to-back timeouts. Challenge. Foolishly put out your first challenge. We lose the rest of the challenges for the game. Bro, so much. I don't understand why we weren't ready to play. It's clear. And you know what? It even looks bad. Let's just be honest. Seattle wasn't ready to play when we played them week 1. They weren't. Okay? And that was a sloppy game. The Saints, bless their heart. Okay? Bless their heart. The Jags, and I kept saying this after we played the Jags, Arizona, they had their blunders. They had miscues early on offense against us, dropped passes, all right? And then, honestly, what really changed everything in Arizona is when Connor goes down, all right? Write your congressman. People don't want to hear that. But it's a different game if James Conner is still playing in that game, okay? Then we face what we have been talking about before into the week, that this is the most complete team that the Niners are going to face, okay?
Yeah.
And they thoroughly outplayed us on all phases of the game. Special teams too, bro. All right?
The special team, yeah.
The lack of tackling, all right, on offense. Like, I'll give it to the defense. They had some bright spots. They really did. And we're going to talk about that. But the 48-yard run by Travis Etienne, all right, no contain, running right past D. Winters and Mykel Williams, not even paying attention, dude. Like, I hate to say it, but the defensive pass interference on Upton Stout, I didn't like it, but it was a crucial down, all right?
Yep.
The 3rd and 14 drop by Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne had, how many drops did Kendrick Bourne have?
3.
3 drops?
Yeah.
3 drops? I don't understand it. We were not ready to play, all right? And I love the defensive side of the ball, but they had their hands in it too. What's going on with these guys? And this is off the heels. I don't want to hear it. This is off the heels of Kyle Shanahan saying that this is a must-win game. You would have thought that they would have had everything buttoned up and squared away to go into this one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things. First of all, I want to point out too, the Jaguars are an extremely sloppy team. We talk about mistakes. I mean, they couldn't get play calls in. They had penalties galore. It was awful. They delay of games and then calling timeouts, and you can see Liam Cohen's just super frustrated with Trevor Lawrence. There a lot of errors, errors that the Jaguars made.
Here's the stat for you, Jess, just to interject. 12 penalties, 4 turnovers on the road. All 4 turnovers were on first downs, by the way. And they won the game with a missed field goal. No, with a missed extra point. Was that a field goal or a missed field goal?
They missed the field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have 4 turnovers. They didn't turn the ball over once.
No, they got 4 turnovers.
Yeah, they got 4 turnovers. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Listen, it was sloppy on both sides. And it's not an excuse, but to me, when you're going back and forth on the quarterback until Friday, basically, and you don't know who's going to play, and everybody's kind of getting first team reps, and that's tough to deal with. You've got receivers that weren't practicing through the week. Ricky didn't practice for a chunk of the week. Jennings didn't practice for most of the week until walkthroughs. So there was guys in and out of that lineup all through the week. And then same thing with the defense, the exact same thing. It's like, okay, well, Renardo Green's out, Nick Bosa's out. Now you got guys needing to step up and play new roles. And it's just, there's so much movement with this roster. It's hard. It's hard to get guys fully ready. And that's, listen, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be, or that that's what they're paid to do, but I think that's the reality of the situation, man. You got guys in and out of that lineup. You don't know who's going to play. You don't know who is. It's hard to get everybody prepared. You only have so much practice time. And I don't know, man. It was nasty for sure, but the Jags matched them, and they still it. None of it matters because they had ball in hand with a chance to win the game, and they blew it. They
Dude,
absolutely blew it.
At the end of the day, they still had the drive to win the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Right? Like after they got everything out of the way. If you really want to look at it as far as the box score is concerned, the Niners outgained the Jaguars on offense per play.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Oh, yeah, way more yards. Here's one for you. Eric Armstead iced that game, right?
Yeah, strip sack.
Everybody in the comment section, you ready for this? Eric Armstead counts for $7.5 million against the Jaguars salary cap. He counts for $15 million against the 49ers cap this year.
We just paid for an ass whooping.
Literally double the cap space on the 49ers cap over the Jaguars. And he's the reason that the 49ers lost when it came down to the very end. That's crazy.
Hey, but you know what, man? I mean, I'm not going to say I love this, but things are right in the world, man, because we deserve this, man. We're not ready to play. No. We're just not ready to play. You look at the first 3 games I saw a fight. I saw a lot of mistakes. However, they felt sorry for themselves. The turnover, what was that? The drop by Kendrick Bourne on 3rd and 14, and then they turn right around and give up a punt return on touchdown. Like,
oh my gosh, I know.
That was a gut punch, man. You know what I mean? The fumble by Luke Farrell and then the 48-yard run by Travis Etienne up the right side. These are daggers, bro. Yeah. These are moments in time where we think that we can have time to get ourselves acclimated to the game. And we're playing against a live body who's quick to the punch. And it's like, dude, if you let your guard down, I'm knocking you out. All right? I'm not feeling you out. I don't care. And we played somebody who was ready to punch us in the mouth. And they did it every game.
I don't know. We didn't talk about the topics prior, and we may go there. We should probably do sleeper in a second. But, bro, Definitely. If it's not a topic, can we talk about Trent Williams and CMC?
Next topic.
All right. Let's do sleeper.
Yeah, come on, dog. Don't play with me, bro. All
right. Sorry. Let's
don't play with me, bro.
Sleeper.
Yes. Let's go to sleeper right now. I can't believe you. Sleeper, man.
Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself. I got excited. All right. You can get a 100% deposit match using promo code LSS. The link is in the description. It's also pinned to the top of my chat, not coaches, but you can check it out on my channel. You can play weekly fantasy, daily fantasy, yearly fantasy. I'm in a dynasty league in sleeper, but I also like to have a little skin in the game. And so, listen, I think I'm pretty good at this. So I like to make picks. So we're going to do more or less. Although I don't care about baseball, I'll always take a free pick. And sleeper always gives us a free pick. So we're taking our freebie. And then we're going to look at the Thursday night game. Now, here's the interesting thing. Sleeper has no idea what receivers are playing for the 49ers, and they have no idea what quarterback's going to play. So as the week goes on, the day of the game, they will have this updated, but right now they don't. So let's stick with CMC because this is part of the next topic. Do we think more or less on 58.5 rushing yards? More or less, Coach? What do you
Less.
think? This is so bad. And what's crazy about this is sleeper will tell you what's more likely to happen by how much they 1x it. Basically, they've got this at dead even. They don't know what to do with CMC either. They don't know what to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Devontae Adams, 51.5 receiving yards, more or less.
More.
Puka's on a tear. They got him at 90.
Puka had 15 targets last week.
Bro.
Puka had 15 targets last week, bro.
He is so good, dude. The
rest of the league is just blossoming, and we're over here stuck with all of this old crap. Goodness,
I know. And I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm gonna go more on Blake Corum. Another thing that's happening, and every week we've said it. I've said it, and I feel like you've agreed. Is like, are we sure the run defense is good? I know that it kind of, but are we sure? And then this week it was not good at all. So, I mean, we're going to do that. Real quick, though, we're going to 10 times our entry. We're putting $10 down. That's going to give us $102. So you can tail us, you can fade us, whatever you want to do. And if you have buyer's remorse, you got 5 minutes to cancel. We're not going to cancel, but you can. Sleeper, promo code LSS, check them out. All right, coach, let's get back to it, brother.
Let's get back to it, my guy. So look, the trenches and the run game. The 49ers have not rushed for a touchdown this season. We're averaging 3.5 yards a carry as a team after 4 games. Christian McCaffrey for the season is averaging 2.9 carries for the season. For context,
no, he's at 3.3. He's at 3.3.
2.9 was 2.9 was Jags game. Sorry.
We're going to give him his point.
Everything counts. Sorry. 3.3 for the season, 2.9 for the Jags game. All right.
Can I put this in context real quick?
I want to say it real quick because I know what you're going to say.
Yep. Okay, go ahead.
He was 2.4 at the half against the Jags. For context, the Jags were rushing for 7.1 yards a carry at half. Is that what you were going to say?
That's not what I was going to say, but that's really good context. What I was going to say is, here's his 4 games by game. Seattle, 3.1 yards per carry. Saints, 4.2 yards per carry. Cardinals, 3.1 yards per carry. Jaguars, 2.9. His best game was 4.2 yards per carry. That is still 1.2 yards per carry less than his average in 2023. His season average was 5.4. His best game is 1.2 yards less. Miss me with he hasn't lost a step. I'm sorry. He's clearly lost a step.
The steps are lost, man. Let's move on. That's beating a dead horse. Anybody who wants to argue that at this point, it says more about you than it does about the actual debate. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, we can't get any push. And we're bleeding from every orifice. Like, not only can we not run outside because Trent Williams is actually a better run blocker, even though he's struggling. He's a far better run blocker than he is a pass blocker now. That's a whole nother live. That's a whole nother hour to talk about what we are seeing from Trent Williams. Dude, what's that kid's name? Hines Gaines?
Joshua Hines Allen.
Hines Allen's dog? He was working Trent like a rented mule, bro. I swear, man, he was hitting him on the loop. He was hitting him on inside moves. He was bullying him. He was snatching his hands down. Dude, he had Trent all over the... Man, Trent, I realize why Trent is being so humble in all these damn interviews. If I knew what that tape, I ain't gonna lie. When that tape is bad, you be humbled in a motherfucker when it's time to have interviews, bro. Trent was over there. That's not Brock's fault. You damn right it wasn't Brock's fault. Horrible. Jake Brendel can't block. We don't have bad starters on our offensive line. We have bad football players on the offensive line. There's a difference, okay? Jake Brendel is not a starting center.
No.
In the NFL. He is not, okay? I'm sorry. Connor Colby, God love him. He's incredibly raw. I'll leave it there, all right? Dominic Pooney has regressed. I'm sorry. He's regressed. I don't know if he's playing with an injury. He has nothing on his feet as far as being able to translate power through the ground. He's not physical. I hate to say this, but our best offensive lineman is Colton McKivitz. That is our best offensive lineman, bro. Let's get off the O-line for a second. Brian Robinson Jr. Why is he not being utilized? Using Brian Robinson Jr. has nothing to do with opinion. This is not like prerogative or discretion. No, this is speaking to the life's blood of being able to finish out the season to keep Christian McCaffrey upright. Again, why is Christian our leading offensive guy, bro? 11 targets for 6 receptions and a drop and a fumble that he had to get back. Come on, man.
You know who he is? If he was an NBA player, he'd be like J.R. Smith or Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
Just volume. Like no impact. You're just a volume shooter, bro. And you're shooting at a bad percentage, but at the end of the day, your points per game are going to look good because you're just shooting and shooting and shooting.
Dog,
like, that's
shit
what
was
CMC
so crazy.
is right now.
Shit was so crazy. We ran a hook and ladder yesterday.
On like a 3rd down. It wasn't even like, hey, game's on the line. We got to run this hook and ladder. It was like, no, we just need to get a 1st down and we can't trust anybody to do it. So we're going to run a hook and ladder.
I was waiting on the annexation of Puerto Rico. Like, what else?
Statue of Liberty, Boise State.
Like, come on, man. The trenches in the run game, it's a big problem, and it's going to get worse as the season goes on. I feel like it's an open gate with no lock. Anybody who wants to walk through it can. Interior wise, I don't think that there's anybody that in the building. For me, there is one guy. It sounds crazy, but I'm standing on the table for this. Jackson Powers Johnson is not being appreciated with the Raiders. He's not. And okay. I'm going to tell you right now, if there was any way for them to get him, that would be huge right now. The offensive line is just not a good unit together. As far as pass blocking versus run blocking, Trent's better at run blocking than pass blocking. But as a unit, they are a better pass blocking unit. They can't run the ball for shit, but they actually do hold up in the pass game when they get the ball out on time. I can't believe they rolled out the season with this. Trent Williams is going to regress. What makes more sense? Watching Trent Williams regress for the rest of the season until it's almost embarrassing for his price tag on the cap. What does Trent Williams make next year?
A lot of money.
Hold on.
I feel like Trent Williams is going to retire, dude.
He's got to be out.
So
he's disinterested.
He said that he won't retire until unless he feels like he can't play at a high level, bro. If they're honest with him, he
ain't playing at a high level.
That's what I'm saying.
Another thing. All right, so let's look at it. So we got Trent this year. He's counting again. He's counting 21 against the cap. He's getting paid $21.1 million. He's counting 6.2 against the cap. Next year, he's due 38.8. That ain't happening.
You want to know what's sad? He was our highest rated offensive player yesterday, according to PFF.
PFF is on drugs.
They are, but also that means that it was really bad for the rest of that team.
Yeah, they're on meth. Let's get some super chats out the way.
All right.
Giants Kumar, thank you. Hawks fan here. Jesse and Coach are real ones. Love your post-game rant with David. Wish we had some of that sober outlook in our fan base. Bro, we're about to start taking this show on the road, bro. They're asking for us. Tommy Huxley, special needs strikes again. Why is it Martin on special teams? That's a very good question. Why aren't we seeing more of Nick Martin? That would be something that go ahead.
He's healthy scratch. He's a healthy scratch. Like, he can't play special teams, apparently. Why do you draft a guy that can't play special teams? I don't know.
The same reason why you draft a kicker that can't kick.
Yeah.
Gold Towel. CMC leading the NFL with 100 touches.
Bro,
Jesus.
That's just nasty work.
It's disgusting. Silky Smooth Smithers. Love that. Do y'all see an offense or defensive trade soon? I just brought up one. But outside on defense,
they're going to lose the next 2 games, and they're not trading for nothing.
Nah, I don't see it. Let's get into our next topic, Brody. Pass game. Is this another super chat? Let's get into it.
Yeah, hit it up.
Blue Blood Sports TV. Is it now safe to say Kyle is not what we thought? He doesn't use depth. Didn't want to use Mason. Now Brian Robinson Jr.
This is a real conversation, and we saw how effective Etienne was for the
Yeah.
Jags. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how many touches Tootin still gets. And let's not forget that their third string running back, who's a rookie, is getting more touches than our second string guy.
Michelle Tootin.
Like, no. Tootin's their second. LaQuint Allen's their third from Syracuse. He's a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting more. Their third string running back, sitting behind two very good running backs, by the way, is getting more touches week in and week out than our backup running back is. That's a problem.
You know what's kind of weird, and I'm noticing it. Remember, you know how we look at teams and we're like, man, that team reminds us of who we were in 2019. They look like us in 2019,
Yeah.
right? We looked at we looked at Detroit and we said, man, they look like us in 2019, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Detroit looks ready to play. You know,
Yeah.
we started looking at other teams, like a little bit of the Jags. I heard people saying they look like us in 2019. They look just hungry, right? At all facets of the team. And once you start looking at it, man, maybe us in 2019 was just how you're supposed to play, period. It wasn't special. It wouldn't have anything to do with us shocking anybody, but we were just hungry and everybody was bought in. There was ownership, and
100%.
You don't see it with this team. We're very disjointed. And I just want to start talking about how we are a passing team now by way of survival. I don't think that we're doing this necessarily because this is what Kyle wants to do. I really do feel as though that going into game plans and Kyle not really leaving any room for interpretation going into games as far as, hey, man, we're going to run the ball a little bit, see what we can do with it. We're starting to see pass-heavy game plans. Is there a change in sight? Can we get the running game going, or how a team's going to just start teeing off on us? Because defenses are just going to start disrespecting us and just sitting back on us to take picks.
I don't know what the solution is. I mean, he seems more explosive in the run game than CMC, but is he explosive enough? And can they consistently block for these guys? There's a lot of problems. You got blocking issues. You got lack of explosiveness. The pass game's not scaring anybody. So it's like, well, I know that the run game's supposed to set up the pass, but sometimes it's got to be opposite. So if the pass game isn't explosive and you don't have receivers out there that are going to scare them, then there's just nothing on this offense that's scaring anybody. The Rams are going to tee off on the 49ers. I'm sorry. That defense is disgusting. That pass rush is disgusting. They are coming on Thursday. It is going to be a bloodbath if the 49ers don't figure this out quickly, man. The Rams are not to be played with. And a lot of 49er fans made a lot of jokes about the Rams. Oh, the Rams aren't that good. Matthew Stafford broke back, blah, blah, blah. We've already gone through two quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford's still upright every week and playing very, very good football. They are not to be played with. The Rams, if we're not careful, are going to blow us all the way out on Thursday. We
did a lot of grandstanding on teams when we were winning. Yeah. And there's a lot of teams that they don't like us and it's personal. Mm-hmm. And teams are going to take their pound of flesh out of us. I didn't even know. We're going to start finding out ops we didn't even have. I didn't even know the Jags didn't like us that much. That
thing was crazy.
Yeah. That was surprising to me. Yeah, I was like, wow, they are really into this win. Was anybody gonna let me know what we did?
Well, listen, you got Armstead over there, and he felt like he was done dirty by the team. So that lit a fire under the defense. Mm-hmm. And then you got their head coach that was being called out by Robert Saleh. Let's not forget that Robert Saleh and Liam Cohn, they were fighting for the same position. Same position. And Cohn ended up getting it. And so then Robert Saleh comes out this week and talks about, he's, they're stealing our signs and stealing signs across the league and whatever else. Robert Saleh put that on in front of everybody. And Robert Saleh is a smart guy. He knows exactly what he's doing. So yeah, I'm sure the Jags were pretty pissed off. I'm sure that they really wanted that win and they got it. And so that was the result of it. And Sean McVay and Shanahan are friends. but they're also very competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive. This is, if you and I were to go play basketball, you're my boy, but I'm going for your neck. And you're doing the
we're
same
swinging.
thing. Like
Yeah,
we're trying, we're going for a win here.
Yeah, you're not
And
talking
so
about this shit on
McVay
stream.
is absolutely going to go for the jugular. If he can put up 50 on the Niners, he will. And they're not going to. I'm not saying, but if he had the opportunity, he absolutely would. Of course he would.
Couple of things that I wanted to highlight about the past game. Number one, Kyle's got to let go of these familiar faces. Kendrick Bourne is cooked.
Trash.
Kendrick Bourne can't be here. Another thing, you can't have Demarcus Robinson back and only give him 2 targets.
And he made a hell of a play, man. That was a great catch over the middle.
Yeah, but 4 targets for Kendrick Bourne versus 2 targets for Demarcus Robinson. Come on, man. That's highway robbery, baby. Yeah. We can't have it.
Those might be your starters on Thursday, by the way.
Yeah, because Juwan may not play. Yeah, so and then also one thing that I keep talking about, Jordan James. Jordan James needs to be ingratiated into this offense. Is he still hurt?
I don't think so. I thought he was cleared, but I could be wrong. I'm going to look it up right now.
Look that shit up, man.
But where's Garindo, man?
Man, they don't trust Garindo, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't trust. This is all about trust here. You know, I hate the fact that I know their style of football, bro. Like, it's so childish and like vindictive. You know, like everybody needs to understand, like, if you make a mistake, Kyle's like, who are you, bro? Like, what is wrong with you? Having personal issues with mistakes on the field, man.
Yeah,
it's not like
he was inactive. So I don't know if that's a healthy scratch or injured. I honestly don't remember if he's still hurt, but he was inactive. But Nick Martin's been inactive and he has been healthy. So I don't know if it's a health thing or not. Either way, you're still suiting multiple running backs. You spent a draft pick on Garindo. You spent an asset and traded
to get him.
Robinson. What are we doing? And you traded it. Didn't they trade up for Garindo
They traded up. That's what I thought you were going to say. They traded a pick to get Garindo.
Yeah, they traded up to get Garindo.
They traded up.
A pick to
go get for B-Rob. Yeah.
And you're not playing these guys at all? What's the point, man? What is the point?
I don't know, man. I think that they get together and have their direction and their KPIs on what the season is going to look like. And they pretty much try their best to stay to that plan. And, you know, good on them. That's the mark of a good team, right? But I think that they probably had some conversations where Kyle doesn't like to tell the truth at all. And he doesn't like to tell us anything. And if Kyle tells you that something is a crack, then you got to think that it's a crater, because he wouldn't even mention the crack if he wasn't trying to prepare you for how big something is.
Yeah.
So when Kyle says we're not going to be the same team we are now till we are in week 12, this is what he's talking about. This is what he's saying. He's seeing the fact that, man, we do not have a receiver room, a comprehensive receiver room. We cannot run the ball. We can't. We're going to lean as much as we can on the defense, but even they're young. All right. I don't know how to consistently put together a game plan where I feel like we're going to win week in and week out. I think that I'm under the belief that Kyle is going into some of these games feeling as though that we're not going to win this game, but we just need to have a good showing. And I know that sounds crazy to say about a guy who is his entire life is supposed to be steeped in competition, but that's the feeling that I get. That's the feeling I had last year when
Jordan James is a healthy scratch, by the way.
Come on, man. You drafted him. Why is he not playing? Right? We saw this last season where it's like, dog, they're really bad. And then out of nowhere, poof, we get this offensive like oasis against Detroit because Kyle didn't want to be embarrassed. It's like, come on, man. So I'm hip to how these dudes get down. It's disgusting. It's weird. You would hate to say this about a football team, but they don't put their best foot forward all the time, especially when they know they're going to lose and they think they're going to get embarrassed, because everything is about optics to the organization. So They know they're not going to win this game.
He always puts his best foot forward when the backup quarterback's in, though, doesn't he?
Hell yeah, that's to prove his worth. To prove his worth. That's what my time to shine. But I'm telling you, they know they ain't going to win against the Rams. They know. I'm tired of faking it, bro. Like, oh, well, let's see what we do. If we put the running game together, we maybe. No, bro. No, barring significant injuries from Los Angeles, we are not beating these dudes.
Or flat if they out. Just like come out and like fumble 6 times or something, it's going to take a miracle to beat the Rams.
Hell yeah. It's going to, a lot's going to have to happen.
Listen, if the 49ers were fully healthy, I'm picking the Rams.
Come on, bro.
Like, that's just what it is. Before the season started, I picked the Rams to go 2-0 against us. And that was assuming health. So I'm certainly not doing it with all the injuries. Certainly not doing it. I'll be at that game, man. And it's going to be, I hope that it's at least competitive through 3 quarters so I can have some fun at that thing.
All right, man. And they better be ready because Tampa ain't playing either.
No, Tampa's not. And luckily, it'll be a long rest week for them. So we'll take it. And Tampa's pretty beat up themselves. So maybe they can get lucky here. But I don't know, man.
What you got for the rest of the week, brother?
Tomorrow, shoot, I got to figure it out. It's a short week and I'm traveling on Wednesday. I don't know. I think I'm going to do Behind Enemy Lines tomorrow and then figure it out from there. I don't know that I'll get another show in before Thursday. I'll do the post-game live from the stadium. And we'll just see how it goes. So
that's going to be fire, bro. I want to call you in, man. You be my on-site correspondent.
Yeah. I'll be breaking plays down before they actually happen on TV. Like, oh, bro, another pick.
Yeah, that's what I need, bro. Hey, man, we're gonna get going tomorrow with Neutral Zone with me and Chunder Boy. That show is you check out Chunder Boy, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
Oh, I know Chunder. He used to call into Croc Show all the time. I know him.
Hell yeah. Hey, man. Yeah. This is the coach, Jesse, signing off. Stay low and keep your feet moving. I'll holler at you guys. Peace.